Oh, there it is. Yeah, what's up guys? Let's just wait a bit, the game's still taking a bit of time loading. Yikes, there we go. Sound... I guess I haven't actually touched sound since last, but yeah, Undead versus Orc matchup this time around. No more Night Elf. I have realized that a couple... 4 or 5, I think, games have been Night Elf, so yeah, just changing it up. We have Happy spawning in as the Undead player, Red, Undead player on the bottom left here, and he will be facing off against Fly, who will be spawning in as the Blue Orc. Fly will be blue since he's most likely going to get that Blade Master, and I need to keep track, because this is not a tournament game, so I don't have spectators, and yeah, this might be one of the changes I would like Reforged to have, because yeah, it does feel outdated, at least on here, that I hope you can have just a neutral spectator mode for replays, even though it's like a 1v1. It shouldn't be that difficult, to be honest. I mean, StarCraft 2 has such a great replay viewer, that I'm hoping Reforged has as well. I honestly have not tried StarCraft Remastered, so I don't know how their replay system actually works, but yeah. Acolyte Scout here for Happy. I guess he is also curious as to what Fly would be starting first, but it is just going to be the standard Blade Master, and yeah, nothing else, to be honest. So we have the Tomb of Relics into Graveyard for Happy. Should be fast tick. As I mean, there really isn't any other build to go, and especially such a big map like this. Playmaster starting out at the Ogre Warrior should be the same for the Death Knight, but instead he's gonna go for the High Priest camp. I'm not sure if he's gonna fully clear it out. Most players just go after the priest, pick up the item and ditch, but since the Death Knight uses so much mana, he might just be invested in finishing off the rest of the camp. Not gonna give him a level 2, but should be equal to the Ogre Warrior camp that Blade Master took. Oh yikes, I just realized... Oh, there we go, okay. I just realized that, I'm on Happy's perspective, but he's red. That's weird. That is weird. Normally, the player's perspective I'm on is... Okay, colors didn't change? I am a little confused right now, maybe I'm a little disoriented, but either way, Blade Master going straight after the DK after showing Death Coil, no on-oil aura to heal himself or get out of dodge, but it is going to be quite a task to take down the Death Knight with just a level 1 Blade Master. He does have a circlet. I believe he picked it up from the shop, as he does have the ring protection from the previous item drop. Hoping to try and take the Ogre Warrior. It could potentially just get stolen by the Death Coil from the Death Knight, which will indeed be the case, and the item went over to the Death Knight as well. It is also a +3 ring of protection, but it also gives the Death Knight a level 2 state, so yeah, should be able to catch up to at least the Grunt. Is able to get a very solid 4-man surround, is going to force the Blade Master to go for the Windwalk. They'll escape thing. I honestly don't know how to describe it, but it's been a while since I've seen the Blade Master just do that. Most of the time it has just been the Blade Master being surrounded, and he either just forces his way out or he just Windwalks away.
Upgrade complete.
Tier 2 done for Fly. Should be very closely done for Happy as well. It is indeed complete. Lich is going right away, and should be seeing
We're under attack!
Tier 2 production buildings sometime soon. I am curious to see what Fly is gonna go for this time around, as we do have a Creepjack there from the Death Knight. Nicely done there. Bit of a mistake from Fly to not have been cautious about Happy's Death Knight. But yeah, early Tier 3, as expected, should try and rush as quickly as possible to those destroyers, maybe even Banshees, which were one of the main factors as to how
We're under attack!
Happy was able to secure the last victory against Fly. Banshees, I guess Master's Training is not really needed. The green bubble is kind of the only main factor as to why he was able to clinch the victory, able to just shut down the amount of interruption that the Tauren Chieftain could bring. But yeah, position is still a pretty useful tool, especially to steal those Kodo Beasts.
We're under attack!
Yeah, Tier 3 rush here from Fly as well, which is something worth noting. We are going one bestiary, but haven't really decided on what else to go. I believe most of the games that Fly has done versus Happy has been mass trolls, and yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. It's honestly the only logical reason why he would rush Tier 3. The War Mill also reinforces that suggestion, but yeah, who knows? It is still a pretty insecure army comp, especially versus Undead. So we'll have to just wait a little while. Helmet of Valor gets picked up there. Should be given over to the Blade Master since those are his two primary attributes.
Ready to soar, Master.
As we do have a Wind Rider. Not sure if we're gonna go into mass here. Yeah, because sometimes Fly has just built one Wind Rider and just transitioned completely elsewhere. Tier 3 is done for both sides. But yeah, Happy's at least has a solid foundation. He has a good number of Crypt Fiends and his statue count is rising very soon.
We're complete. We're under attack. We're complete.
Fly is sitting on a lot of resources right now, and he is gonna dump him somewhere, unless he uses it to pick up items. Doesn't look like it. He picked up dust, but that is so far it. We are gonna have Kodo Beasts and Trolls coming out, and the Tauren Chieftain as well, so it's basically the same as last time around. Fly's basically on a timer until Happy gets to his good Banshee count, or Fly gets like a completely monstrous Blade Master. It doesn't really look good for Fly. I'm just basing this completely on the last game and how very badly how it ended. Even though I was pretty much talking up how excited I was to see how the Trolls would perform. Yeah, sadly I'm not sure if Trolls are going to be enough to deal versus Fiends, Destroyers, and Spell Immune Banshees. Or not Spell Immune, but like, the Green Bubble is pretty protective against the War Stomp from the Tauren Chieftain. Obviously, you still get stunned, but at least you don't eat the damage. Alright, here comes the first bit of harassment from either side. Orc Burrow is not fortified, so it is going to take damage quite quickly, in fact. Might even drop, despite all these peons being pulled over. Blade Master rushing his way to defend his base. Fortified defenses have just completed, but that first burrow actually took quite a bit of damage in the first place, so that will lead to Fly being upside down for a
Research
while.
complete.
We do have Berserker upgrades completed for the Trolls, and we do have an expansion attempt here from Happy
We're
as
under
well.
attack.
Might be spotted by Fly's army, but for now, Fly's just clearing out the Null Overseer camp. Here comes a fight. Frost Nova able to secure the Warden for himself. Item does go over to the Blade Master, however, which
Work complete.
is a +6 claws. Very, very high DPS Blade Master right now. Plus 19. Goes to 28 with the Kodo Beast Aura. I believe the Battle Drum upgrades have been completed. But yeah, Curse is problematic to say the least. Blade Master does hit level 4 with that Acolyte kill. And we do have the Pit Lord rounding things up, so lots of debuffs for the side of the Undead.
We're under attack.
Torrent Totem is going to be placed down. I'm hoping Fly has learned from his previous mistakes and just make those Spirit Walkers to go for Disenchants. The last time he did that, he just went for Spirit Links, and honestly it didn't really work out that well. Obviously Disenchants require a lot more micro, but like, it's in exchange for winning huge fights, which I think is probably more important. And
Work complete. We're under attack.
yeah, I'm trying to remember if Banshee Curse is autocast or not. I think it is, so the point I was making was probably not valid, but I mean, if we're really stretching things here, like expending the Banshee's mana pools to prevent her from putting up green bubbles or preventing her from casting Possession is, you know, all the worthwhile. For now, we are still at Initiate Training. No intentions to go into Adept or even Masters, so might actually work out well for Fly if he actually chooses to fight anytime soon. Is gonna take down a couple Acolytes here. Not getting lucky with his crit chances, unfortunately. Only 1 out of 7 right now. And there we go with the miss there, so did get that crit, but he is going to be forced to retreat as Frost Nova and Curse is pretty annoying. I believe this was a Pocket Great Hole, judging by how it's already completed. So both sides have pretty much equalized here. They are in low upkeep, so they are suffering from the same attacks. Blade Master trying to be as annoying as possible. Might be able to get himself the statue, but Frost Nova, Frost Armor, Curse, it's just such a huge detriment to the Blade Master, and without any Gloves of Haste, it's not really going to mitigate the attack speed reduction that he keeps incurring on himself. Voodoo Lounge trying to be placed down, hopefully anytime soon, but the fight is going to commence. Pit Lord trying to get himself in a good position for a Howl of Terror, but all in all, Kodo Beast is almost dead himself. Death Coil is going to chunk him a little bit, and the Quick Beam just finished the job there. Blade Master is going to try and go ham. War Stomp very nicely affecting most of those spiders there, but the Howl of Terror and the Curse is being cast. Berserk is also being activated as well, but I mean, Howl of Terror is, look at that attack damage debuff, -7, and it is going to get refreshed. The Kodo Beast Death might have hit him a bit too hard, unfortunately for Fly, and with so many ranged units just still up and about for Happy, he is going to continue with the siege. 57 for Fly, 63 for Happy, and yeah, a more impactful triple hero comp here for the Undead. I mean, yeah, the hero comps is pretty good for Fly as well, but like, it's not as annoying to deal with as the Undead heroes. Okay, once again going after the statue. Notice that we don't actually have any destroyers, so those trolls aren't really finding too much value in themselves. but the statue does die. Another one does replace itself, unfortunately. Pit Lord does drop to half, but I think the Blade Master kind of ran out of steam. The Trolls are also, I think, waiting on their cooldown for their Berserk. Pit Lord is going to get topped off with the Death Coil. The DK still has plenty of mana available. A very nice War Stomp coming in from the Ward. Torrent Chieftain, as you do have a Hex onto the Death Knight. I don't think it's there to go for an assassination. I think it was just there to prevent the Death Coil, which is gonna happen. There we go. DK did heal the Crypt Fiend. In exchange, he is gonna lose himself the Pit Lord, waiting for that cooldown. Is gonna Death Coil to try and pick up the Spirit Walker in exchange for that. And Code Beast number 2 might actually drop here. He does have a spider in its belly, so clearly Happy wants it back. But yeah, he might have overstayed his welcome, in fact. Pit Lord is going to get raised through the Tavern. A bit suspect on the timing of that because the Torrent Chieftain could just get a good position on that War Stomp, which he definitely just did. Death Knight is going to drop as well at level 4. That is going to be a costly resurrection. Lich also at level 4 as well, so he needs to be careful not to lose his life either. Code Beast number 2 does indeed drop, but the Crypt Fiend is just going to get taken down immediately. DK is also going to get revived through the Tavern, so Happy is spending a lot of resources on that. Fly is sitting on a bit, probably just focusing most of his time on microing his units. Pit Lord might just be able to run away in time as the Unholy Aura is going to enable that to happen. Unfortunately, the statues do suffer from the Purge effect. They are going to get rooted for a couple of seconds. War Stomp onto the DK as well. And surprisingly enough, this is working a lot in Fly's favor. Which is interesting because honestly I thought Happy learned from his success versus Fly in the previous games that he would, you know, try and just maintain that, but he didn't use Green Bubble, he didn't really have any destroyers, and yeah, this is what's happening, which is really weird. Nevertheless, it seems things have turned around once again. Code Beast number 1, or yeah, number 1 or number 2 gets taken out with the Death Coil. Yikes, Fly has made a lot of Code Beasts in this game. Mass's training for the Spirit Walkers there, most likely just for Ancestor Recall, or Ancestor Spirit? Yeah, Ancestor Spirit. And yeah, I haven't really noticed the Spirit Walkers going for disenchants, so I mean, it kind of makes me look like a fool saying that Spirit Link is probably not worthwhile over disenchants, but yeah. Oh, that was a really bad TP in my opinion. That just gave the Torrent Chieftain a very free War Stomp, but lots of curses, lots of Howl of Terrors there. We do have a disenchant coming in from those Spirit Walkers there, which is something I'm very glad to see. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how well it is going to maintain the Orc's positioning. Lots of Banshees just out in the open, unfortunately. That is going to be very quick kills if those trolls actually get their attacks to land. We are down on only 1 Crypt Fiend for Happy, so he needs to make do with his heroes, otherwise his Banshees aren't really going to cut it with no added training, no Mass's training there.
Work complete.
So now that I think about why do we not have added training at least for those Banshees?
We're under attack.
Because I'm pretty sure Adept and Masters, at least in addition to unlocking abilities, it ups their base stats. Because yeah, it definitely does. Because Master's Training makes the Banshees go all the way up to 400 mana, 400-ish HP, I think. So yeah, it's really weird that despite having a second base, he's kind of slacking on his on his Banshee's training. He is +1 on his Crypt Fiends. I'm not sure if more is going on. We are gonna have +2, but yeah, it's kind of bare bones, to be honest. I mean, the lack of destroyer training is also, or research is kind of understandable. They just get shredded by those trolls, but honestly this game isn't really arguing very well for this, because the Blade Master just goes straight after those statues themselves. Shadow Hunter gets bursted down with the Undead combo, I believe, and that might be the enough momentum for Fly to just retreat for a little bit. Regardless, yet another statue goes down. Blade Master, despite being cursed, it seems like it is indeed his lucky day on landing those hits. 53 versus 61, but I mean, Happy doesn't look like he has nearly as many units alive and on the field compared to his opponent. Added training finally done, the green bubble does show itself, but it might just be a little too late on that front. Still a good number of Spirit Walkers and Trolls. More Kodos are being added to the mix as well. Kodo going for another munchings there. Playmaster chasing the Death Knight, but I guess he's just gonna change targets on more squishier targets. I say that as he misses his crucial critical strike there.
Research complete.
DK needs to be careful. He doesn't have Frost Armor just yet. He does have the Ring of Regen as well as an Invuln. But yeah, this game has really shown that both sides can just get bursted down very, very quickly. More trolls being added to the mix here. It is getting a bit dangerous for Fly since the green bubbles are starting to be added. Oh, nice death coil to actually kill one of those trolls. We are at +2, +1 on those trolls, but does Fly need to add something else to his army mix? It would probably be too greedy to get Shaman. Turn Warriors, I mean, I always would like to recommend Turn Warriors. They just act as a good, solid front line. They'll just soak the damage that Crypt Fiends and Banshees deal, and since there are no destroyers, there's really no risk in having at least like 2 good bodies in the front. They are good targets for the Ancestral Spirits, but yeah, Fly's just maintaining his Spirit Walker and Troll Berserker count, as well as his Kodos as well. He's been pretty good on his double Kodos at least. So there's that. Something I actually noticed earlier was that the Death Knight has double Sobi and Ring of Regeneration, so DK is going to be really hard to kill, and as long as cooldowns allow for it, he is going to be using Death Coil pretty constantly. 57 versus 65. We do have a base on the way on the left side. It has been spotted by Happy, but not really in a position to try and assault this, as he is unsummoning his crypt. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it was built in the first place. Pit Lord, is he going to go for Hollow Terror? Yes, he will. Will that prompt a disenchant coming in? I don't know. But the War Stomps are keep coming in for the Tauren Chieftain there. He does have a mana pot once he runs out of mana. Code Beast number 1 is being targeted here. Gonna eat that Scroll of Speed as well as Healing Wave. As another War Stomp is gonna prevent the Lich from pursuing. Blade Master is surrounded, but he does have a health pot and Windwalk, obviously. He's getting very, very close to that level 6, which is something worth seeing, because that will shred through the green bubble, I'm pretty sure, and just wreck the spiders and the banshees there. Acolytes are being pulled from the mix here. I think main gold mines have worn out, so that is the reason why those acolytes are following, I guess. Expansion about to be completed just in time, in fact, as Happy is going to assault this base.
Work complete.
This might be the final fight here. Statue number
We're under attack.
only is gonna get taken down. Blade Master gonna eat the undead combo there. Healing Wave and Healing Pot is still available, so there's that. This might actually just be the last fight, considering that just so how many bases Fly has access to. Blade Master needs to be extremely careful not to get taken down, but the Lich is out of mana, and the Death Knight is not strong enough to kill him by himself. Going straight after the Lich might not be the smart idea, since the Death Knight has full mana available. Invuln is going to be used onto that Pit Lord. Blade Master is probably #1 target for the undead units there, and the Trolls are just going to have a field day, activating Berserk, going straight after that Death Knight after he got hexed. And this might actually just be the domino effect needed for the Orc player. Another War Stomp gonna affect most of those units, and there we go. That is a very, very solid, very, very clean ending to this game. Yeah, it's really weird, because last game, it looked like Happy finally figured out how to deal with Fly's comp, but this game, yeah, told otherwise. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys again next time.